LearnUK, one of the largest learning resources on the web. It's owned by the Guardian newspaper, which has long been more committed than any other British national newspaper to providing practical support to teachers, parents and students. In the same spirit, Learn.co.uk stimulates students, supports teachers and promotes success. Those are its objectives as it harnesses the extraordinary capacity of internet technology to enrich and enhance the process of learning for teachers and pupils. Learn.co.uk's managing director is Colin Hughes.
Our aim is to create materials that can be used both at school and at home across the curriculum, that they're lively, it's interactive, it's fun, but above all, that cover every aspect of the curriculum in depth.
The Learn website, developed with Education Interactive Solutions of South Africa, started building curriculum content in May 2000. It already offers comprehensive lessons in business studies, English, French, mathematics and science for students aged 4 to 19. New subjects are being added all the time. Already the site has unparalleled educational depth. The quality of all the learning material on the site has been originally written and rigorously assessed by a team of more than 300 active classroom teachers and teacher trainers. Learn.co.uk students can turn to a biology lesson and explore key diagrams and watch the pumping action of the heart. Many of the science lessons contain animated explanations that bring learning to life. They can get immersed in an in-depth study of the negotiation of the Treaty of Versailles with background on the leaders and countries involved, animated maps and newspapers of the time. It's an online educational event linked to the curriculum, backed with lesson packs and teachers' notes. Students can brush up their Shakespeare, his tragedies, his comedies, his background. They can explore 16th century England, Shakespeare's life, and gain a greater understanding of his characters.
Okay, so we're just about finished our investigation on the planets, and the final thing we need to find out is why, indeed, does the moon orbit round the Earth?
They can call up a diagram of the moon going around the Earth and understand how the moon's orbit depends on gravitational pull.
If the moon has no light, then why can we see it at night?
Well, the moon is a non-luminous object that has no light of its own. The light of the moon, as we see it at night, is actually light reflected from the sun.
Yeah, how long does it take the moon to orbit the Earth?
It takes approximately 28 days for the moon to orbit the Earth. This is actually called a lunar month.
Which direction does the moon go around the Earth?
Again, as we can see, the moon actually orbits the Earth in an anti-clockwise direction.
I think Learn.co.uk is a really good site as you can go through the information in your own time and then test yourself at the end.
I like the site, I think it's really good, and especially the special bit on the Treaty of Versailles. That really helped for my history coursework and history homework.
I like Learn.co.uk because it will help for the preparation for my exams this year.
It's really good because it contains lots of colours, animation and pictures to help you take in all the information.
And there's also random tests at the end, so I can test myself and see how well I've been revising.
When a lesson is read or an online experiment completed, you can ask the site to set a test to find out if you've taken in what you need to know. Unlike most other sites, you won't get the same test every time you come back. Questions are randomly generated.
Now, just be warned that the computer will actually bring up different tests, so you can't actually look over your neighbour's shoulder and see what answer they've given, because each test is different from each other. Okay, so you're very much on your own for that one.
As there are billions of possible random combinations, students will never get exactly the same set of questions twice when using this facility. Learn also produces weekly topical lesson packs on burning issues of the moment, from natural disasters to teenage pregnancy and global warming.
What I'd like you to do is to have a look at the activity 1.
They're based on contemporary news stories and can be targeted to a range of different audiences around the world, in the UK and elsewhere.
It's a fantastic website in terms of depth of content. It's got a whole range of information on various subjects, various issues, science, mathematics and so on. The actual way the lessons are presented themselves with multimedia graphics, the testing which diagnoses the students' testing, tells them where they've gone wrong, it suggests where on the website to look to revise and to recap on points that they may have went wrong as well. So from that point of view it's absolutely fantastic.
The children can do tests, they have lessons on here, They can then test themselves. They get instant feedback on their performance. That's helpful because they can see immediately what they need to do next. That means target setting is much easier. They're going to be motivated to stay on it and learn from it. So hopefully one's performance will rise significantly.
The children certainly like using the internet. There seems to be a draw for them and they seem to concentrate much more on their work when we do use it. So the learn.co.uk site will help us as we develop that.
It allows the students also to work outside the lessons. It's not simply for use in schools, but also for homework. Wherever they've got access to the internet, they can access the fantastic materials that are there.
Learn.co.uk has introduced a groundbreaking initiative with special video webcast packages to support students preparing for exams.
If we have an equation or formula, we sometimes need to rearrange it.
These are the first exam preparation packages to be made available in real time on the web and are delivered by highly experienced teachers. Pre-exam webcast lectures will be prepared for all subjects. The ability to access the site at home is vital.
The following characters are all speaking dialects typical of certain countries. Can you guess which countries they're from? Click on the Check Your Answer button next to the picture to see if you were correct.
Interactivity turns dry textbook learning into fun on the screen.
G'day, mate. Fancy bringing the Sheila for a Barbie?
What country's that from?
Australia.
Answer. He's from Australia.
Yay!
In Britain you'd be more likely to say hello than good day.
Ultimately, Learn will cover the whole of the curriculum from 4 to 19. No subject will be offered for any age group until coverage is comprehensive and complete.
Le même âge que ma sœur, 23 ans. Oui, la dame est sa mère. Elle est toujours très élégante. Et à côté d'elle, c'est le père de Michael.
Learn materials enable students to control the time and pace of their learning, allowing them to retrace their steps until they have a full understanding. It's genuine, anytime, anywhere learning.
I would use this website at home because it would help me in my future with coursework and homework that was very difficult.
What's really helpful about this site is when you get answers wrong on the tests, it tells you how to improve and how to look them up so you can get the answer right the next time.
It's particularly useful before an exam because I can refresh my memory and test myself randomly to make sure I know everything.
I found it to be very useful for revision in all subjects. It's even got a special revision section which is very helpful.
I like the diagrams and animations as they make the harder work easier to understand.
I mean, I've got an exam in July for science and I'm definitely using this for my science revision because it's just so helpful. I mean, the tests are basically what's going to be in the exam. So if I just do the tests, I'll be fine with revising, and I definitely recommend it to anyone doing exams or anything to do with these sort of subjects. Just use this site, it's the best going.
Learn succeeds by building a relationship between printed words and pictures and active online learning. To that end, teachers and commissioning editors are backed by a large content development and technical team, all highly experienced in creating digital educational content. Learn.co.uk now allows students to be randomly tested by topic. You can pre-test yourself and find out what you do or do not know. The site will then fill in the gaps and will also test your understanding of the required information. The Educational Technology Director of Learn.co.uk is Rael Lissoos.
As an education company, we try to take the best elements of information technology and apply them to education. And this allows us to be loyal to the content and the delivery of the content and not so much the technology or the internet, etc. We have a learning management system, and this is a diagnostic testing system and a diagnostic educational delivery system. It's fundamentally based on our way we handle knowledge and our way we handle knowledge objects. We look at the curriculum, we analyze it, and from that curriculum we look at the lessons and we look at the assessments. These are knowledge objects, and what we apply a lot of methodology and theory to is how we relate these two. This is both educational theory as well as technology. And we take lessons and we relate the lessons to the individual questions. Then the questions themselves are related to each other and the lessons themselves are related to each other. And from this way of handling this and knowledge objects, we can develop quite an incredible system, and we have developed the system. What this does is if you take an individual lesson and you look at it, and let me just open up a lesson off our site, you can see this is moments in physics, and you can see that basically there's a lot of elements to a lesson. There's equations, there's understanding the terminology involved, etc. So for a student to move forward, they must know this prerequisite or pre-learning. So we develop assessments to do this, and we develop a pre-test. Now this pre-test is quite important because it will look if the student has the required prior knowledge. It will also allow the teachers to develop tests according to certain criteria. And here we have a sample of an interactive assessment which is marked by, in fact, the computer. And it comes through, and this is testing all different elements of the lesson as we would describe it. Now once the student has taken this test, then the beauty of the system comes into play. From that, we now know what prior knowledge they have, what knowledge of the actual lesson they have, and we can build for them a customized personal learning experience. And to see an example of this, you can see once a student has done that test, we know that they need to revise forming algebraic expressions, algebraic functions, etc. The other thing that the student could do is they could just go in and do that lesson, and then it kicks in again. We have post-tests, and that post-test checks to see if they've covered the knowledge they need to do and reports on it. And the combination of this becomes a very, very, very powerful learning tool.
The internet is transforming the future of education and learning. By offering high-quality, interactive materials, Learn.co.uk aims to be the most popular and valuable destination on the web for teachers and students alike. The breadth, the range and depth of its content, its adaptability for different markets and different platforms will play a critical role in the growth and success of Guardian Education Interactive. A government agency, Becta, in a report on behalf of the Department for Education and Employment says, information and communications technology, ICT, can motivate the unmotivated and has the potential to transform the way education is delivered, enhancing scholarship and investigation. It also says, primary schools with better ICT resources achieve better grades for English, maths and science. Schools commended for high standards or good improvements use ICT in a wide range of subjects. A British university, Kiel, in a survey of ICT in schools, gathered positive responses from pupils. It makes you think because you're in control. I get so interested in work that uses computers that I don't want to stop. You understand it more because the results are clear.
It definitely facilitates teaching because on the website itself, as well as having the content, it actually guides the teacher into the aims of the lessons and what the students will learn at the end of it. It has lesson plans to help the teacher plan, saving time from that point of view. It also has the assessment built into the work as well, so it gives a focus to what the students are actually learning as well. So in a lot of ways it will help hopefully begin to revolutionise with the way we teach and the way students learn.
There is no question that web-based learning materials are going to transform education in the future, and that LearnCo UK lies at the cutting edge. We are pioneers in these developments. Not only that, students' performance is being improved by these developments, and we intend to continue leading that charge.